Yeah. Y'all showed out today. I was not expecting all these people to come. Because of the weather, you know, y'all could have been somewhere swag surfing over eggs or something. Laid up, it's raining and things like that. So I want to acknowledge a lot of people that's in here. There's people that flew out here. Give yourself a round of applause. Stand up, that's right. Y'all flew out here. That's right. They're over there too, hiding. Get them over there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know. That listen, there's people that I never met in here. Where y'all at? Give yourself a round of applause. There's people that I've known since 3rd grade, junior high school, way back, like LeBron James hairline. Give yourself a round of applause. If you read the original Full Circle 15 years ago, because that's why we here for the remix, give yourself a round of applause. If you married to me, give yourself a round of applause. That was good. All right, so no, really. So the reason for, first things first. I am an independent author, as most of you know, right? And so reviews mean everything. And y'all don't like leaving reviews. So turn to the back of your book, everybody.
Turn to the back of your book, congregation.
That's right. Pick up your book. Everybody, pick up your book. You too, Auntie, stop taping. Pick up your book. You turn to the back of your book, you're going to see a QR code. Amen?
Amen.
All right, now look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, as soon as I'm done reading this book, I'm going to pick up the phone that I always have in my hand. I'm going to aim at the QR code. Amazon's going to come up. Full Circle going to come across the screen. And I'm going to leave my review immediately. Amen? Woo! Now, I had 50 bookmarks, and I think I got 2 left. So I should have quite a few reviews. And I got everybody email. And I'm going to haunt y'all. No, seriously, because as an independent author, that's what we depend on. We depend on reviews, and you know, we come out of pocket for everything. Like, we don't have a big machine behind us. We're paying for everything. We're doing for everything on our own. So people see all the reviews, good, bad, or indifferent. All reviews are good reviews to me. But I don't be writing no bullshit. So, you know. No, seriously. So, shout out to my baby. I don't know where she is. On the. There you go. That's her right there. That ain't me. That's her right there.
Can I say I had to call Yaya, like, is that a picture of you when you were a child? Or is that Nia? Because I feel like it's Nia, but I don't know.
Yeah. No, a few people were like, is that you? You know, whatever. All right, so.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mila Machenko.
Give her a round of applause.
I'm thrilled to be here with Yaya, interviewing her for her book. I had the honor of interviewing her 5 years ago now for her book, Twerk in the City, actually in the same space. And her folks showed up then like y'all showed up now, you know, because Yaya does that. And it was fantastic. And I'm just honored to be here again to talk to her about her book. So now, Full Circle, right? Yes. This is the 15th anniversary. Yeah. So it's the remix, like you said. It's the reissue, but you changed some things. You went and updated some things. Tell us, first of all, tell us the origins of the book.
So, really long time ago, in the 90s, I was in this abusive relationship from like 1995 to 1999. And in the midst of it, it started to get real heavy. So I started to just write a lot. And I was like documenting what I was going through, but also just writing to kind of just escape my reality at the time.
So you were writing at the time as it was happening?
Maybe like 2 years in.
Okay.
I was just trying to find something.
And you were journaling or you were writing?
So I wasn't really, I didn't have like a journal. I was just document if something would happen.
Okay.
Or in hindsight now, I realized I started to like document like the patterns, like his behavior. What, you know, I'm just in another world, just trying to find my peace in a sense. Anyway, so of course I'm here now. I got out of that relationship. And a couple of years later, I just developed this love for writing short stories. And I would write these short stories and just send them to my friends and things like that or whatever. And so one of my girlfriends, she's not here. My girlfriend Carmen, she worked with an author named Tracy Brown. They worked together, and she gave my short story to Tracy. And Tracy was like, yo, she's dope. So Tracy gave it to whoever she gave it to, and I ended up getting a book deal. That short story, I don't know if anybody in here read Girls from the Hood Part 4. Yeah. Okay, well, that short story that I wrote, just writing it, ended up, they paid me, and I was like, oh, okay, this might work. So then when I got the book deal, of course, I had to have a story, and I was like, well, why not write something that I know? Because I don't really know what to write a book about some made-up, stuff or whatever. So I just kind of pieced together this thing, and out came Full Circle. So that's where Full Circle came from.
Okay, so tell us, 15 years later, what's different?
So throughout the years, so I think what a lot of people don't know, when you're like in an abusive relationship, it changes you. And you don't really know until you come up out of it, right? Because you're so busy in survival mode trying to just survive. You know what I mean? So when I came up out of that situation, I was just different. I viewed the world different. I viewed men different. I viewed relationships different. I viewed love. My trust level was in hell. Like, I'm like, who can you trust? You know what I mean? So, but I think the main thing was I didn't know how to receive the emails and the people that was reaching out to me, like the women that were like, it was so much. And I was just like, I don't even know what to do with this because I'm clearly not healed. And back then I'm not thinking, I'm not healed, I can't help them. I just knew I wasn't in the headspace to really just acknowledge it. So then a couple of years later, a young woman named Tia that I know, she was a manager in Sephora's. And she had a coworker who loved my book.
Sephora.
It's
not Sephora.
Mines,
Yeah,
Valentine's,
yes.
all the things.
I know.
Sephora.
The black impulse to put an S on it.
Don't do me today. Don't embarrass me in front of my people, okay? I write books, okay?
It's a very black impulse, is all I'm saying. It's
I'm
a very
back.
black impulse.
So Sephora's. I can't stand you. Anyway,
She worked at
Tia
Sephora.
was a manager in Sephora. Let me just sidebar real quick. So when I wrote Full Circle, this one, Lisa, the light-skinned brother, Akbar back there, she gonna tell me it's not in Long Island, it's on Long Island. I'm like, do I write the book over? Like, what do I do? Like, what's wrong with people? I don't care, whatever. I did edit it. No, I edited it in life. I put emphasis on, I'm gonna be on
Long Island.
Anyway, so Tia was a manager in Sephora. And she had a co-worker who loved my book, and she would like just carry it everywhere. She was in an abusive relationship. Her name was Heather. So as Tia tells me, I come into Sephora, and she's like, that book, like I know her, that's my girl. The girl never wanted to come talk to me. Fine, okay. So she leaves her abuser, and she goes on with her life for about a year, and she takes him back, and he murders her.
Woof.
And so this is Tia telling me the story after the fact. And so she says, listen, her mother doesn't speak a lot of English, but she wants to reach out to you. She wants to email you or something. And so the mother
reached out. It takes a lot of strength. People don't. You have to. You're fighting back against your personal shame is the first thing. Like
Right.
your own, the way you judge yourself.
So the mother reached out. She emailed me. It was like all in broken English, and she thanked me for giving her daughter back for like a year. The year that she wasn't. Somebody give me some tissue.
Yeah.
Damn it, I'm suffering. Thank you, baby. She thanked me for, just giving her daughter back to her for a year, even though she's gone. It was the best year that she, her life that she had with her daughter because it was really close and all that type of stuff. And that story has like haunted me forever. And it's like, I wanted to talk about it. I've always suppressed what I experienced because it's not an easy thing to talk about and acknowledge because you have people, even now, y'all know what it is. It's like, oh, you playing a victim or why now? You hear all that. Why now? Why talk about it now? Well, here it is decades later and I'm still affected. So it's something that it doesn't go away. It's like a grief, a grieving, like a loss. And it's like a loss of yourself, who you were. Because I know when I came out of that situation, who I was gone. My innocence was taken from me. Like I was 17.
Poor baby.
Anyway, shake it off.
The strength.
Anyway, so this young woman and this story, it just stuck with me. And I was like, I want to talk about it, but I don't want to make it about me. Because there's Heather, there's so many other girls, there's your daughter, your grandkids, your nieces, your homegirls. Everybody's like going through this. So I don't want to just make the story about me. I wrote the book, but it's not just my story. It's everybody's story. So I had to get to a space in my life where I felt comfortable enough to talk about it. And this is like my first time. And clearly I'm not comfortable because this ain't working.
No, it is.
Thug, damn it.
No, it is. You do it anyway. That's how we know you're there. Doing this scared. That's the gangster shit.
Yeah. So, I was like, I want to write the story over and I want to write it from a place of, because originally it was just my scraps that I put together to write the book. And I'm like, now as a grown woman, in hindsight, you rewriting this story, what's the point? And so the point is that there's a few things that I added in it and then because I know I'm going on.
It's okay.
But, so the ending is different. A lot of the story is different. The foundation is the same, but there were some things that I didn't touch on in the beginning because I hadn't experienced it.
Okay.
Right? So in hindsight, I didn't know what like PTSD was.
I was going to ask you about the character Dawn. And was she in there for the first version? Because there was a lot of, like really sort of
psychological. Right. So I didn't touch on that.
I was wondering about that.
Right, I didn't touch on it in the beginning because I didn't know like what I was experiencing. And I don't want to ruin it, I don't want to. Yeah. So in this book, and so in this version, I touched on like when you get in a relationship with someone and they violate you, right, and you stay. What does that feel like to you? Like you like, I can't believe I let this person do this, and I'm still in this relationship.
Yeah.
When you in the thick of it, and there's no way out.
Wait.
Okay.
Because I think you're going a little further.
Okay.
Reel it in.
I want to step on your toes.
Because we want to get there. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry. Go back.
We want to get there, and I'm there with you. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm sorry.
The first thing that I want to say before we get to all of that stuff is, how we connect over music. I know you love music.
Yes.
I love music. Like. Were the chapters named after the songs in the original?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, they were, right? Love that. Like the specific songs and how
whole 90s theme.
90s theme, but then like the song titles, but then even the song because you can get a title that could mean anything, but the songs themselves, like when you continue to sing the rest of it, it's still very relevant to the chapter, to what's going on. And I'm very, very conceptual. I'm a singer-songwriter, and I have like an album called Hope Said It Best. This is a whole conceptual thing where I take Jay-Z lyrics and like apply them to my life. And it's like a whole bunch of, like, I'm deeply conceptual. So I really, really dug that about it, right? And then also, like, I remember one time I put in my notes or something, I got myself to remind me of love. And
that's
you hit
my
me
favorite.
Up. That's mine.
That's
and
right.
I was just like, so
that's
I saw
Frankie Beverly, y'all.
Amazing Frankie Beverly. I got myself to remind me of love. I had to take I just had to like walk away from it for a minute. You know what I'm saying? So like, tell me about like how important it was to you. Because aside from enjoying it, like making me enjoy the book more, it grounded me in the time. It grounded me in the sort of like headspace that people were in. And like, talk to me about like how important music was, both to you in that time with you, and then like as it pertains to the book.
So I've always loved music. Always. So I thought I was going to be a songwriter, y'all. I thought, my brother would tell you, right? He already nodded his head like, I was a rapper first. So, dude, you learn something every day, brother. You learn Tell him how nice I am, though. Tell him how nice I am.
She get
right? So I rap, like, just writing and like I can compose a song and I can, like, I taught myself how to
phrase. That's how I first fell in love with this girl. We met in the I'm sorry to cut you off, but we met in the Facebook group. Shout out to Victorious DaCosta.
He's not here.
And he's not here, but I just want to shout out to God because that's how I found you.
Yeah.
And I just fell in love with just the way she talked about just anything. There's just such it was at the same time very grounded and relatable, and it also such like a flourish, like a lyricality to it.
Not lyricality, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lyric, and I'm just like, this girl's brain is just like, and to that point, I want to point out like something that made me laugh in the book when you were like, I wrote it down. Sorry, I had to write it down. So in the book, when you were, when you said, you thought she saw dead pigeons flying off with one wing.
I know what chapter that is. I was
just like, and that one was a little dark. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's just like there's a wittiness and like just an ability to how do I say it? So an ability to frame a thing in a way that makes it more expansive to understand and to like appreciate from a different perspective. You know what I mean? And so that's why I initially fell in love with you. And so to that end, I want to ask you, like, because to be a writer, you got to be a reader, right?
I used to go finish.
I want to ask you, who did you grow up loving to read? Who did you read? Who inspired you?
So my mother used to love to. Now she's still here, but my mother. So she used to have a lot of books. James Patterson, Dean Koontz. Like she used to have all the books. So I would read them, and it wasn't even so much about the books. I was fascinated with how to create a story, how the character development. So I was like, I could do that.
Right.
So that's why I would just
like
write these stories to kind of just be like, I could do this, and then I did it. Amen.
Amen.
So, but to that, J. California Cooper.
Yes, girl. Yes. Girl. That's my girl. Yeah. Say less, okay?
So,
J. California Cooper is up there with Zora and Tony with me.
Yeah. Yep.
You know. Yep. So I get it. You know what I'm saying? So to go back to the book, first of all, I want to talk about the book definitely has a genre, right? Like that it falls in. And obviously the probably the go-to book that you would think of as like The Coldest Winter Ever, or like the, that sort of book, right? A thing that stuck out to me in this book is that your character, Corinne, okay, Corinne, she was not overtly sexual. Like early on in the book, she never used her looks for things, like in that way. That sort of was that was like in a lot of those books, and not just by Sister Soldier, but as that genre grew, it was always the little girl lost story sort of included, like daddy issues turned into fucking when I was 9, what I mean, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And this story was not that at all.
Right.
Your girl was, robbing drug dealers before she lost her virginity. You know what I'm saying? So, like, talk to me about that. Is that like a thing you like did on purpose, or was that like, more from your experience? Like what was that?
So, as y'all know, Full Circle is loosely based on
yes.
And so to that point, no, I wasn't overly sexual as a young girl at all. I was a tomboy to heart. I still am. Am I? Like, I'm still like, listen, the second row here told me, don't you come in here with a sweatsuit tomorrow. I was coming in here in a sweatsuit. And I couldn't go but so far, so I threw in a little kitten heel. I hope y'all enjoy it. I'm a tomboy.
No, but you know what? Tomboy can still be a hoe.
But I just, that wasn't my thing.
That's where we get
that'd be the cover up.
I just don't get along with
that's
females.
Yeah,
I don't get along with females. Those girls,
I didn't grow up like that. Like I had my friends, and I was a tomboy, and I was comfortable in my skin always. I didn't care who was doing what. I was skinny, not neat, pigeon toe, bald headed, the whole nine. But I was always confident and comfortable, and it didn't stop me from getting anything. It didn't stop people from being attracted to me or grab. I just always been comfortable in my skin.
Right.
So that's just where that. I mean, Corinne's character is loosely based on myself.
Right.
I wasn't out here robbing no drug dealers, but I know some people that was.
Right.
So I kind of just nipped and tucked and did some things.
So then that brings me back to another thing that I think is important about the story, because in the book, Corinne did come from a broken home, where her parents divorced and her dad disappeared, and he went to prison. But, mom was there. She was, working, but she was, she tapped in, and dad, and so there was Corinne missed that familial, that parental sort of influence when she needed it, but the love was there. It's not, Corinne wasn't, lost to the wind at any given time, right? Which I think is another important thing. It's not like, Corinne's pops went to prison and her mother was a junkie, you know what I mean? And, like that sort of thing. And I think that was important to me because it can speak to how such a smart, confident, well-adjusted, sure of herself woman can still end up being in these sorts of situations, because we tend to, judge women or, like presuppose that any woman who becomes a victim of intimate partner violence is like a lost child. Where's the father? Or she wasn't raised right, or why she didn't love herself and all of that kind of thing. And I thought that it was a really important thing that the character didn't start in that place. She didn't start in that place. She started as a vulnerable person. We knew that she missed her dad, but we also knew that she had a dad to miss and love. We know that mom worked a lot, but we also knew that mom was going to pull up and be on that ass. And that is still different from a lot of the, what I mean? From the way it could have gone. And again, it made the character into she was bossing up on these niggas. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
She was bossing up on Panama. And by the way, I'm so glad that
Don't give it away. Wait.
Okay. I was just gonna say.
You want to whisper it?
Okay, yes.
Right, me too.
Okay, can I say it?
No.
Okay,
No.
all right. Never mind. Scratch that part.
Hot mic. Good.
Okay, so skip that part. But anyways, so just to get back to that, and I think that's what you had started to get into earlier was, the psychology of, how you get there and the steps of how they break you down. And, and then again, like when you bring your 15 years later experience and life, lessons to it, and understanding that there are psychological, references for these things that happen, I want you to talk to us about that.
Right. So the whole point of the whole 15 years later is just the headspace that I'm in now. Like, I'm gonna say how old I'm about to be. I am, but y'all know, y'all grew up with me. But
ain't that wrong with being 35, girl?
Yeah. No, so just the original was just like raw. It was just everything was thrown in there, and so now I'm like, I think about Heather, the young lady that lost her life. And then I started to think about like the emails I was getting and all the people. And like just even in my life now, not for nothing, people come to me for advice. They talk to me. People are vulnerable around me. They just gravitate toward me to tell me stuff. And
that's an interesting space to be in.
Yeah, but I just knew back then
I didn't have it.
I didn't have it, and I didn't know why. Mm-hmm. And so now, to the book with the whole, the PTSD and drama and depression. Sometimes you don't know you're depressed, right? And so I suppressed so much stuff, and it wasn't until I got older that I understood that suppression leads to depression, right?
Absolutely.
So now you got that was a bar. Hold on,
give it up, right? It does.
No,
you
but
gotta deal with that stuff because it ain't going nowhere.
And it's in your body. Like when people say, get over it, and why now? That shit lives in your cells. It lives in your body.
Trauma does.
You know what I mean?
And science will tell you that at this point.
This is science. This is not. But I think back then, I let people tell me, you playing a victim. That didn't really happen. It wasn't that serious. And so I think for me to not want to come off as a victim or just trying to get some type of response or attention, I just was like, I'm a thug it. And I'm going about my life. And then I had my daughter, and then life is life, and life goes on. But
did it change when you had a daughter?
Well,
you have a daughter that's a little older than than Corinne at the beginning of the book.
So when I had my daughter, just the switch just went off. It was all about her, right? So there's more suppression in that because I'm like, I'm not going to put that on her. This ain't got nothing to do with her. She wasn't there. She wasn't. So I got to but you still pushing things down and you still forgetting about yourself. And you're putting everybody before you, but eventually it's going to come up. And so it manifested like in my relationships. It manifested in just my everyday life. I just wasn't the same. You know what I'm saying? And it took me years to realize, and I was just like, damn, this don't feel good. So I got to figure it out. So now you get these buzzwords that's out now, PTSD and all this stuff. And I'm like, I need to look into this. I think I got to go see the lady. I'm like, I got to go see the lady. Like something is not right.
We all need to stop playing to see the lady.
Child. No, baby.
We need to see the lady.
But at this point, I didn't know if it had gone too far. And then you see, like even now on social media, when people bring up they've been abused or violated or whatever, it's why is she bringing it up now? That kind of makes you crawl back into a little hole, like.
And it's a question that is people don't really understand how malicious that question is, because if you say it when you're in the moment and people don't believe you, that's like another assault, right? When you say it and then you go to someone who you trust and they don't help you, that's another assault, right? And so then you feel like no one's going to come to help you, so you deal with it and you deal with it how you do.
That's right.
And and so then time goes on, and then when you finally feel strong enough to break past that shame and say this happened to me, then someone has the nerve, the sheer unmitigated audacity
To say
to you, why now? Like
this, there could be somebody right now saying, why is she bringing this up now? This happened in the 90s. Yeah, but it happened to me. It
happened to you.
It was a regular Tuesday for everybody else. I still got to live with seeing grown men standing around while I'm getting choked to the ground and passing out.
And there are some parts of this that are so hard to read. Just are hard. And I'm not understand. I appreciate it. And again, it's so, there was a part in the book where you acknowledged that the person that you were giving it to, you knew that it was difficult for them to receive as someone who loved you, but you understood the need to get it out for you so that you could say the thing out loud and put it away from you so that it stood as a testament that you could look at. And that is an important thing for all of us. That's a dynamic that doesn't just go for someone who loves you, although that was important too. On a grander level, that is the thing that is important for us as society to do. We don't want to look at it, but we need to look at it. So we need to own that that's what's happening.
So that's the point of this 15 years later renewed history, because I'm talking about the mentality, the mental strain, psychological effects, the things that happen to you while you're in it, when you come up out of it, how it affects the next person you get with, how you treat them, how you feel about how they treat you. It goes on and on and on and on unless you go see the lady.
Go see the lady.
And I'm like, I don't got time to go see the lady because now at this point I got a baby to raise.
Right.
So I'm on mommy mode, and y'all know as my sister-in-law told me one day, she was being shady. I don't care what nobody say. She gonna be a helicopter mom.
Who?
The light-skinned brother right there. I can't. Right there. No,
wait,
but
which one? Who? Which
right
one?
here. She turning around.
Wait. Let me ask Nia. Hey, Nia.
Oh shoot.
Helicopter mom or nah?
Like not anymore.
Oh, okay.
Right. High school, yeah.
Oh. Because all we saw was the cute TikTok videos.
I was like 16 years.
Oh, you was out here?
The audacity. I carried you for 9 months.
It's fine. She's fine.
Dale, I don't need you chiming in either. Because she be cold. Anyway, back to the book. I'll see y'all later. Back to the book. But no, so I think also, though, to be honest, going through something like that, having a daughter, I'm stupid.
That was mine.
I'm just stupid with it. Like, I don't care. You can hate me now. You're going to love me for it later.
Yeah.
And I was good with that.
Because there were points in the book that were definitely like, somebody should have grabbed you by the scruff of your neck,
Full Nelson.
Yeah.
And got down.
Yeah. And so I was wondering how that, with now 15 years later, how that would affect you.
Just realizing.
So it just turned into you harassing this poor child is what we're saying.
Nia, I'm going to apologize to you in front of everybody in here today. Yeah, I ain't saying the words,
good.
but you know what that means.
But this makes it better and stronger.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I just think that now with writing this book in the headspace that I'm in now, I'm just in a space where I'm saying like, this is not about me now. This is just about everybody else. I'm in a good space now to be sitting here.
And it's a next level of strength because there's the part of you that has to deal with that, right? And be able to, like you said, when you first wrote the book, and and you were just getting that out, and that's a level of bravery that many people won't reach.
Right.
And
I didn't think people was going to read it, to be honest. Honestly, it's like you got the well-known authors, right? I'm like, I'm me, so I'm like, well, I got this little deal. Let me write this little book and throw it out there, and then I got a
it resonates.
The universe.
Yeah, and I got awards and all types of stuff.
The experience plus the voice. The voice,
But I still
so there was
sunk
that,
in,
and then, the evolution is you being and owning your power to use that story to help people, and it's another level.
Amen to that, y'all.
It's another level. And so, like for me, like there like it just pointed to look, and it stands out to me how you said that you were writing even like while you were going through it, when you had started to just document things, and so there was so many small details that I wouldn't even like think of, like it wouldn't occur to me that would relate to that, like you cut your hair short. So that
I was always bald-headed, but Tony Braxton came out.
But there's a difference between this and a buzz cut.
Well, this is what happened. See, my daughter got locks, right?
Yeah.
So now with AI, I slapped a bang on there.
What? I'm so tired of you. I'm so tired of you.
I was like, oh, bang, there we go.
Hey, that's that creation.
That's right.
Yo, stay away from that AI, bro. That thing dangerous. Actually, I was like, lean into the AI.
So I was thinking about this the other day too. I'm like, when you're an athlete, what is it the football players get? CTE, right? You get hit upside your head one too many times. Things is going to get jumbled around in there. I'm sorry. It is different. Like that abuse is, depending on the extent of, and I'm not going to diminish whether it's emotional, verbal, whatever, but just imagine having a combination of them all. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's you just come out different. You're just not the same. So I just think in this version, that was the whole purpose of me remixing it, because a lot of the things I didn't know that I was going through back then, and a lot of things I didn't have the knowledge and the experience about, I do now. And I just thought that it would be important to put it in there for there's a million people that have not read this book. So but y'all do y'all reviews and y'all go down there, Ayana_Yaya_Yanni, and y'all take y'all pictures, and no, seriously, and y'all hashtag full circle, and y'all put it out there, because there's like a million people, your homegirl, your friend, your sister, you just don't know. Nobody knew what I was going through until they knew. Nobody knew.
So Ayana, you are new rebirth.
The renewed history.
Yes.
Shout out to my husband. He gave me that hashtag on the bottom.
Yes. Come on, hashtag. You better.
Because I was like, damn, put out full circle again. He was like, a new history.
Right.
I was like, you know where you at? I was like,
he's hired for the marketing.
Yeah.
He's hired.
I was like, I like that, brother. A renewed history. I was like, yeah, that'll work. So then, yeah, I ain't paying you though, but we ain't getting no part of these book sales. But no, so that was the whole point of that.
Okay, I would like to talk about Missy. That whole Missy.
Ooh, okay, do y'all?
Was Missy in the book? Was Missy in the first one?
She was.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you leaving because I said
no.
Word? Oh.
I have to go.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mama. Go ahead.
I'm so sorry.
No. So. Were you gonna ask something else?
So Missy was a friend of Corinne. And the signs that Missy was experiencing their relationship differently than Corinne were there early on. And as Corinne's story progressed, we saw Missy change and act differently and become salty and
say it. She went to the bathroom. You good now?
and a hater, and then ultimately when Corinne needed Missy, who was supposed to have been her best friend since high school, Missy didn't show up, right? We all had a friend like Missy in high school. had, right? Because we all too grown for Missy now.
Oh,
we too
baby.
grown. We have been through too many things for Missy. But in
Yeah.
high school, we had a Missy, and your mama was like, "That girl don't like you," and you was like, "Mom, mind your business," right?
Like, so when you're in a situation, unfortunately, it could be good or bad. You find out who your friends are. When you're extremely happy, you find out who your friends are. When you accomplish something, you find out who your friends are. When you down on hard times, you find out who your friends are. And that's just the way it is. And so I understand that when I was going through what I was going through, and again, I look back on it, I'm like, it could have been really difficult for the people that love you, knowing who I am, right? I just always been, I would like to think just a stand-up type of chick. Like I just, I never showed no signs of weakness or whatever you want to call it. So I think it may have been uncomfortable to just be like, damn, why is she letting...
But at the same time...
Hold on, right?
Okay.
But... put your guns away. Right? No, but also with that, I just feel like when you go through whatever type of milestone in your life, it brings out the best and the worst in people. And a lot of times, unfortunately, you have friends around you that don't really like you. And they prey on your downfall. And when that downfall happens, they celebrate it. And they show, okay, man. Amen. It's like,
No, because
it's the
that's
truth.
real.
But being so young and experiencing that, yeah, it hurt. But I had other shit going on. I didn't have time.
Yeah, no.
To dwell on that.
I felt like it was, that's why it to me was so important that you actually added that element.
I had to, because it was a very important moment where I was on the run and went to stay with her for like a day, and then she was like, "My man is coming," and put me out, and I was outside like, "Oh, hey, it's all right, it's all right."
So
this is my Songbird story time, please.
So let me ask you this.
It's all right.
I just want to shout out the circumstances in life.
I pray she's doing well.
That cull the weak and the wicked, because every single time is necessary. It's like, remember in the movie A Bronx Tale, when Calogero, I think it was Calogero's dad who was like, it cost you $500 to lose that, to get rid of that friend. Like those people who who ain't really
my
there.
thing is the jail you plan for me, you gonna rot
in it, child. Yeah, no. Sometimes that thing that you go through, that season that you go through, that ends up, sweeping out the dirt.
I had bigger fish to fry, so I was like, cool, I'm on the run. I gotta go over here now. I need a place to go. I ain't got time for who ain't accepting me in. Who opening their door right now? Because I got places to be.
Oh, in the book, it was Jeddah.
Jeddah. I ain't had no Jeddah in my life.
Damn.
I made that up because I was like, oh, I wish I had a Jeddah.
That's really...
Can I shout out some people in here right now?
Yes.
Let me find faces. Look at Tiffany right here like this. Tiffany said, part the Red Sea.
Stand up, Tiffany. Tiffany, stand up. Tiffany the real one. Look.
I'm going to shout out Capri right behind her, too.
Hey!
And I'm going to tell you why. So when I finally got out of that relationship, I went to my job and they granted me FMLA. I was like, I got to lay low. And so I remember the security guard that worked downstairs would call me like, yo, he's across the street at the Millennium Hotel. He's sitting in the lobby. He would be stalking me. And so he would come around the way in different cars, on bikes, in hoodies, in disguises. And he would run down on these. He would run down and be like, where's she at? And they used to be like, and then they will come tell me like, yo, don't come outside.
You telling me that nigga would pull up on you on the block in a wig and glasses like, hey, yeah.
No, and they would be like, they would knew where I was, but they'll be like, we don't know. And then they'll come knock on the door like, come through. Like, so shout out to y'all. I've known them since I was
little. Come on, real friends.
since I was 10 years old. She's my
You
girl.
are real friends.
So yeah. Anyway.
That's a beautiful thing, by the way, just to have, when you have friends that can span back to, before you became an adult, before
I was
you
10 years old
got
when
grown,
I met them two.
you know what I
rude
mean? And y'all,
The fact that I was younger.
that it's a beautiful thing, and I think it speaks as much to your character as it does, and theirs, as it, as anything else, because
and my big sis Kim back there, she's come through like, what's up? What's going on? That's how she talk. Yo, what the fuck is up? What's going on? What we gotta do? What's up? Just talk, Kim, so they can hear how you talk. She, there's like, yo, what's up? What we gotta do? This nigga bugging, yo, what the fuck? Yo, little sis, you good? You good? She's gonna come through the block like, what's up? Where that nigga at?
she's ready to slide on that guy. Let's go.
That's my girl.
Yup.
That's my girl.
Yo, I love it. I love it.
her.
I do. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Question about the friendship. I just bringing up
Where?
friendship
Oh.
Friendships.
in this book because when I read this book, I hadn't experienced relationships at it.
Mm.
Right, so I was just kind of new to just reading about different things.
Can you wait?
Thank you, baby.
Just really quick. Can you hear her, or should I repeat the question after she says it, or because I don't know.
Thank you.
Okay, so go ahead and now repeat your question.
I just wanted the fact that you made up the other friend is incredible because that was important to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the time I hadn't dealt with anybody that was going through anything like that, but I knew that I would have been that friend.
Mm.
That particular friend.
Mm-hmm.
And then life goes on when you get older,
Mhm.
and I had to be that friend.
Yeah.
And it was the worst thing that I had to do. You know what I mean? Because you can't really control too much. So that
It's
character,
hard.
even though it was made up, was incredibly important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's just so good to see other young people read that, even if they haven't been in any kind of domestic violence or intimate partner violence, a relationship, because it can help them figure out how to be there for their friend. Because
Yeah.
Right.
it's not easy if you don't know what your friend
Right.
really is going through, and you just want to kind of fix them. You want to help. You want to fight, but you can't. You have to give them the patience to figure out
Yeah.
how to get out of it.
And
Yeah.
that was really
So
Alexis,
wait,
that was
wait.
really the whole point of creating that character.
So I
like,
just want to,
Yeah.
go what she said. She said that the character Jetta was really important to her as a character because she hadn't experienced anything like that before she read the book, and then when she became an adult, she had to be that friend. And so, reading how delicate that like situation is, you have to be supportive of that friend, but you can't be too overbearing, right? You have to know when to pull back so that you don't, knowing how to be there and but still allow them to have their space and work it out for themselves. That was important to her, to learn it. So that character was important to her for that reason. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I see you.
Right.
Yeah, no, so that's why I created that character, because I'm like, damn, essentially I was by myself. I was by myself. It just is what it is, It's not an easy thing to say, but I was. So I'm just like, damn, let me create a hoe that I wish was around.
Right.
Let me
we love Jetta.
Let me just.
Did you have pockets of solace through it all? Like, did you have moments where you were able to escape?
Was there anything
When I was in that relationship?
Yeah.
Escape where? To go where?
I'm just saying, like, just whether it was at work or
No.
You didn't have any. You didn't
He was
have
at the
anything?
job. He was everywhere.
Ooh.
He was everywhere.
So when you escaped, where did you go?
I'm gonna tell you another thing about trauma. You lose your memory. I promise you that.
No, you
'Cause
do.
It's so much in the past that I just don't remember. But one thing I do remember. I remember I went to another friend.
Well, we don't want to tell you where Corinne went because we want you to read the book. Okay.
I went to another friend's house just when I was done. Like, it was over. It was done. I went to another friend's house, and she too, a man came, and I had to go. And the only thing, and he's here, he could correct me if I'm wrong. I remember he had on a navy blue sweater. He had a gold chain with a medallion on it, and he was in a green car. And it was my brother. Courtney, do you remember? Why are you looking back, nigga? It's you. Correct me. My memory could be.
No, it wasn't me.
You came and got me from that girl house, right? It was gray. I don't really remember. And I was
He
like,
remembers. Look at
okay.
that love.
But I was just like, yo, okay, I gotta get up out of her house, and I'm just like, I don't want to go someplace where he knows to find me. And he was like, fuck that, you going home. And he came and he got me from my friend's house.
Shout out to Big Brothers, man.
Yes.
Man. Let me tell you how my big brother is the sun and the moon and the stars to me. So
Yeah, so he came and he was just like, yeah, nah, fuck that.
he came
You
and
go
got
home, and it was a great car. What car was that? That's all I remember. But yeah, so that was just the end of that. I was on FMLA. 3 months went by. He got tired of coming to the job. I wasn't there.
Shout out to having a job you could like take leave like FMLA for like that.
Well, I got that job.
Early.
I got that job with a black eye.
Okay.
So they gave me the job. I think they felt pity on me or whatever. I don't know, but they gave me the job, and I was like, I need some time off. And they was like, yeah, don't bring that crazy nigga up in here. Go. They was like, take all the time you need.
Wow.
Go. And so I did, and now I'm here. So
And now she's here,
And now
ladies
I'm
and
here.
gentlemen.
Lift the
Ayana
moon.
Ellis.
Lift the moon.
Ayana Daggone Ellis.
3 men.
3 men. I'm so sorry. Mrs. Daniel Freeman.
Look, it's like Whitney Houston. She ain't playing about Bobby. Excuse me.
Okay.
Mrs. Brown.
I love it.
So anybody have like any comments, questions? Of course you do, Tiffany.
Of course I do. It's not even a question. It's just something that I have to say to you. Because of you and my mother, and y'all not victims, y'all survivors of domestic violence. I've been working in DV shelters for the past 14 years. I owe that to you and my mom. My mother's older. When she was going through her situation, she was called the Saturday night special.
Look.
Because they didn't have, NYPD didn't care about that back in the 70s and 80s.
And 90s and 2000s.
Right. But because of you and my mom, I've been doing this for the past 14 years. I love you guys so much.
You touch people.
I have my clients.
You hear that?
When you wrote Full Circle 15 years ago, I purchased Full Circle for a few of my clients, and I'm going to purchase this one for them as well. I love you, and just keep going.
So for the camera, I just want to say,
Oh God, my makeup.
The reason that Yaya is in a glass cage of emotion is that her friend said to her that she is not a victim. She is a survivor of intimate partner violence, and that Yaya and her mom inspired her to go into work, working with victims of DV in a DV shelter, and that Yaya's experience gave her the strength and the the knowledge to go forward with that, and also that she brought several of her clients Yaya's book so that they could know that they were not alone, and that she's holding her friend up.
Right.
So that's where we were.
I just want to point out that I was the youngest.
Oh yeah, what's her name again?
My name is
Capri.
Capri is the youngest out of the crew,
They took care of me.
and they took care of her.
Ayana, you are the reason why I don't let people play in my face.
That's friends. That friend. I have that friend.
You are the reason why I have a voice. Because I'm not going to sit on my hands and not say what I got to say just to make you feel good. That's not going to happen. Now, I have learned as when I got married to do it a little better. But, thank you.
You're welcome.
Big sister. Always being the one that I would come up to Flo and he like, listen, I got some dope. And she would listen like, girl, this girl be cursing all the time. I'm a lot different now. I'm a lot.
So Caprice,
But like
sorry.
I said before, and I'll say it again, God has favored you, my love.
Mm-hmm.
It is your time, and when it's your time,
What's wrong with these people?
there's nothing that you can do about it because God's timing is always the right time. I love you. I will always love you, and I am so proud of you. And I will never miss a moment with you.
Lord.
Real thugs don't cry.
What I'm gonna need you to do.
Dang. I don't even fuck around with that one. That one kind of hit me in the chest.
We're going to spend like another 10 minutes, and then we're going to wrap this up because I'm getting a baby headache right now.
I do want to say that one of the things that Capri said, the thing that kind of took me out was that as the baby sister of the group, that Yaya is the reason that she don't let nobody play in her face.
Right.
You know, she stands up for herself, and you know, she doesn't fall for some of the things that, you know, young girls might have fallen for. Right. And we might have made her a little, you know, tougher, right? Those things we have to, you know, work our ways back from. But, you know, standing up for herself and knowing her worth came from her big sister, passing on lessons and, you know. And I can relate to that. I have a big sister like that too. And she actually was also a survivor of DV violence. And I was, at the time, way too young to help her do anything. And I still have guilt about that. I was like 16 and she was...
But what are you supposed to do? It's like so that's another thing too. When I think back, and I have friends that were my age that, again, like a lot of people did not know. I didn't live where I lived, where everybody would kind of know. But when I would go home and I would go visit, you know, I would see somebody like pull up my shirt and be like, damn, or like what? Like they would see little things, but then I would go back to where I live, and it's like, I'm gonna be over here because I don't want to be talked about, and I just don't want to be bothered. But you think back at such a young age, what can your friends really do? I mean, they can support you, right? They can support, and they can not make you feel terrible about yourself, but at the same time, what do you really expect?
I don't know.
I don't know, but what? You know what I mean? Like,
I just know that
I know now at this big age, touch one of my friends,
right?
My
now that
child,
I'm grown,
anybody, it's gonna be a problem. It's going, because now
you're gonna have to be mad at me.
As a friend,
you're gonna have to be
mad at me. I'm
gonna
step in and I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna try, but I also know how sensitive that is. When you're in a relationship like that and you step in.
No, if it's a kid, if it's a younger family member of mine, you're gonna have to be mad.
Well, it doesn't matter though. The thing is, you step into a relationship and you step into that and you get involved in that, and that person doesn't leave. They could deal with the repercussions of now people coming in. That person is going to get upset. You understand what I'm saying? And so you got to really balance how you step in and support someone. Is very, very
That's
sensitive.
what Jetta knew.
Because her mother experienced, damn it, no, read the book. But I wanna just open up the floor for some more comments before we
Well, I want to say, Ayana, as you've been my daughter-in-law, you inspired me. I'm so inspired.
Thank you, Mama. Thank you.
Yay!
Thank you.
Hey, Ayana. Hello, everyone. I haven't been in jail.
No, wait. Yeah, actually, that's a really good idea.
No, you ain't have That's a beautiful color, by the way.
Oh, Lord. I hope you ain't get that on film. Okay. Where did she go? Mary, yes. Why did I get what? You said you want to say it?
I guess, right? I did say I was going to say something. So, I want to say a few things, right? I met Ayana between books, so to speak. So I didn't get the first one, but I will still buy it anyway. And I got this one. And
Don't
I
buy
think
that first one. Don't.
Why? I'm gonna do it anyway. Whatever.
That goes to them other people. Just all go to me.
Oh, this go to you. I'll buy another one of those then. All right, I got you. Say less. So I didn't know your story. And I'll definitely read this one. And my apologies that you went through this. My love for you that you came out through this, because meeting you, I didn't see any of this in your spirit and in your energy, and it's amazing. So I want to say that that's how amazing you are. And what I want to say is probably different from the rest, because sometimes in this life that we live, we go through stuff that we don't understand why, for what reason, what have you, but you are an intricate piece of a puzzle to this whole world that we live in. And what you may seem minute and small, if anybody like jigsaw puzzles like I do, because I'm a fiend, you know if that piece don't fit, it ain't rocking right, the whole thing is off. So stand 10 toes down in your story, and I'm sorry that it's a part of your life, but your piece of the puzzle is going to branch out to so many young individuals, to brothers who don't understand what's going on with their sisters, to fathers, to uncles, to mothers, to nieces, to the whole family, to the whole tribe. So when somebody pick up this book, they be like, shit, this is what my sister, my girlfriend, my homegirl, my whoever has been through. So know that your story, sad that you had to freaking go through it, but it's going to excel to the people that went through. Your homegirl just said how she hands this book out and will continue to hand it out. I'm going to hand it out. You're going to find this book on the stoops on the street for free because it's already been paid for. Pick it up and read it and give it to somebody. But your story is a key piece to this puzzle. And don't find yourself small, because sis, you's big up there. Okay. And I'm glad second row told you don't wear sweats, because you are big up there, okay?
Come on, second row.
So thank you. Thank you. I'll read the story, and like I said, keep doing this thing. I want to see part 2, part 3, part 4. Keep it going. Many different pieces, many different parts, poems, whatever. Give what you have, because we will take it. The world will take it. All right? I love you.
What's wrong with these people?